The Digitakt 1.10 update is here, and with it comes a whole bunch of new features like track swap, key tracking modulation, a new filter, and more. So let's explore. First up is the new filter Comb Positive. The Comb Positive filter uses positive feedback to introduce metallic sounding, pitch-tuned resonant overtones. The way Comb Positive differs from Comb Negative is that it produces a string-like sound as opposed to the hollow tube-like sound Comb Negative makes. Huge tip here, hold down function while adjusting your frequency to move the feedback tones in octaves of C. This, in combination with key tracking set to 100% on page 2 of your filter, lets you play this filter like an extra synthesizer. Speaking of filters, Digitakt 2 has tons of selectable filter types, and every track on Digitakt 2 also has a second bass width filter. With the 1.10 update, the bass width filter can be rerouted to before or after your selectable filter type. This is helpful when trying to shape your sound before going into a creative filter like the Comb Positive or Negative. Along with the routable bass width filter is a routable overdrive to before or after the filter section. This can be found in your effects page. Key tracking as a modulation source has now been added to Digitakt 2, furthering its modulation capabilities. A quick explanation of key tracking is the ability to use incoming note values, whether from an external MIDI controller or the notes on Digitakt 2 when playing in keyboard mode, as a modulation source. For example, higher notes will close the filter and lower notes will open the filter. That's one of the many possibilities. To access the key tracking modulation menu, select which track you want, press Function in Setup, and scroll down to find key tracking. Here you can choose up to 4 different parameters for your key tracking modulation. Each of these destinations also have their own offset amounts in both positive and negative values. So let's set up a quick example. One of my favorites, of course, is the easy one of sending our keyboard to our filter cutoff, so our multimode filter frequency. You can hear high notes, really open it up. Low notes, almost close the filter. Now let's flip this on its head a little further. We're going to go and look at our filter envelope depth. And I'm going to flip this backwards. So higher notes are actually going to invert the envelope going to our filter cutoff, and lower notes are going to emphasize its depth. Go even higher. Or even lower. Monosampling has been added, allowing you to separately sample from either the left or the right inputs on the back of Digitakt 2. This is great when you have a setup that has 2 mono synths going into your Digitakt and you want to grab a quick loop from either machine. Another option for our source is mono L plus R, which will sample both the left and right inputs at the same time, but then sum them into a single mono sample. Now let's talk about some features that were added to both Digitakt 2 and Digitone 2. A big favorite of mine is track swap. With track swap, I can choose 2 tracks together with all their settings, presets, and sequencer data and make them change places with each other. This helps when organizing tracks to perform live or just to keep things tidy while making music. To do a track swap, you go to your track setup by pressing Function and Setup, which is also the filter button. Scroll down to find track swap, and here all you need to do is press and hold the 2 tracks trig keys until the bar fills and says swapped. Another feature is the ability to add parameter locks to all active trigs on a sequencer page or track by holding down a trig and page or a trig and track, then editing the parameter you want to add to all active steps. Check this out. In the personalized menu, there are a bunch of additions, one being an overdub option for the live recording mode. This allows notes to be recorded on top of existing trigs instead of overriding them. Extremely handy when you have a MIDI sequence of longer chords and you want to live record a melody on top of that on the same track. Now, there's tons more to explore, and to see a whole list of changes, check out elektron.se or use the link in the description below. Thanks for hanging out. See you in the next one. Peace.